Hello everyone, it's been a while, but it's me, Arthur, the Moonlit Usurper. And I'd like to welcome you back to Dark Souls 3. This is a redux of our Moonlit Usurper walkthrough slash playthrough. Don't know what I'm going to call it this now, but I'll figure it out once I upload it to YouTube. Anyways, let's start from the beginning, and ideally, I'd like to show you me beating all the bosses and all of them, because I feel it'd be easier for this than Dark Souls 2, which, frankly, I won't fight the Ancient Dragon in Dark Souls 2. Or go into the Ivory King DLC and do Lords of Cinder. Those two... The two cats in the challenge area of the DLC. Mostly because that challenge area itself is a trash IMO, in my opinion, but anyways, let's start.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge.
Space and time and space are fucked in places that are appearing and disappearing next to each other.
In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones.
Ah, poor pilgrim died, and looks like they were thrown into a vat of lava. Or just severely burned in general.
When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old Lords of Cinder from their graves.
Basically, this is the end of time, end of days for this world. And Lords of Cinder are
Aldrich, Saint of the Deep.
Giant sludge pool. Giant burning sludge pool.
Farron's undead legion, the Abyss Watchers.
The Artorias fan club. They say Artorias if he got edge.
And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the Giant.
Not the giant lord from Dark Souls 2. Because he actually has a face. Part of me wonders if them being on fire is painful or
Only
you're just
in
used to it.
truth,
Swirling.
the lords will abandon their
There's a
thrones.
swirling void in that reflection of the crown. Ah, it's the Firekeeper! Taking her mantle is the latest
the
Firekeeper.
unkindled will rise.
Yes, we will rise and drag the lords to their thrones because they don't want to be set on fire again. Can't blame them.
Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder.
And that's us being dragged by the soul of Cinder.
That ash seeketh embers.
And there's aforementioned soul of Cinder bowing at, I'm guessing, the coiled sword, waiting for our next challenger to see if they're worthy of becoming the next Lord of Cinder or doing whatever they want with the flame. So, I'm gonna create our character. I'm just gonna do a first name. I'm shit with last names. Barrel gift to get it, doesn't really matter which. Now, as for why Sorcerer, well, some people would say the best way of optimizing your character is which stat do you want the least of. I personally go for which stat or stats you want the most of. In the case for sorcerer, you want 60 intelligence, 24 or 30 attunement, basically around that. And if you go to character builders like Mugen Monkey, or I think there's another one, but Mugen Monkey is the most popular. Could be wrong about that, but basically go to any of the character creators and input your stats. Some of these character creators will have class optimizers, basically based on what you put in for stats. It will tell you, oh, this is the starting class you should pick in order to get the best results, aka the least amount of levels wasted. And turns out, for 60 intelligence and 24 or 30 attunement, sorcerer is the best class. There it is. Now let's pick an item. Go with Sovereignless Soul. Because who doesn't like more souls? And I'll choose this pre-created favorite I made earlier. Better to, if you can, make what your character is going to appear as before you start playing. Well, if you're deciding to record, so that way you won't have to spend time recording yourself creating the character. So we're gonna finalize and begin our journey to fuck up all those Lords of Cinder. To severely fuck them up. Come on. I decided to skip that because, nah. Control camera. There's where the Soul Cinder put us. Nameless unkindled. aka failures. We couldn't even light the first flame. Well, we did, only the burst of the flames go poof. That's basically what a unkindled is. Lords of Cinder are, I'd say, even unluckier because they survived. And did go poof upon lighting the first flame. I mean, you could say they're lucky because only great beings can light the flame, but only beings who have proven their worth, metal, in some way, can light the flame. However, they've proved their worth and have immense strength of some kind. In our case, we probably could prove our worth. We lit the flames only for the flames to say, yeah, you're not strong enough to feed us. And then the Soul Cinder's like, man, this again? Well, shit. You beat me or lost to me. However that works. Let's go with you lost to the Soul Cinder. And then they dragged your butt of your burnt corpse to the grave we woke up in. Or, yeah, let's just kill this hog. Read the controls. Although, frankly, if you play Dark Souls 2, they're pretty much similar. Aside from a few things. There we go. Grab our Ashadestus. Go to the menu, remove this. Gotta satisfy my anal retentiveness somehow. Guard with our utterly useless guarding shield. We're gonna do the only parry we'll probably ever do in this game. Unless I do it accidentally in some other time. There we go. Come on. Rush me. There we go. Now, if you wanted to learn how to parry, I'd say starting with these bastards is a good training method. Well, it's a good way of starting. A good way to practice your parrying. They don't really do all that much damage. I recommend waiting until you had more vigor. But for now, here's some decent places for you to learn how to parry. Most of the parrying implements like the shield way I'm now. Well, technically any shield that has the parry skill can parry, but usually small shields are pretty much built for that. Now, one thing that's different, as we can see, is the addition of skills. Is that if you two-hand your, for the most part, if you two-hand your right-handed weapon, you can use skills. You can use its skill. Which, if you look at the item info, Mailbreaker is the skill Shield Splitter, which basically, you could go ram your dagger through shields and inflict a lot of damage. Sorcerer Staff has the generic staff skill Steady Champ. Basically, just about every staff you'll find in the game has this. Basically, it boosts your strength to your sorcerers for a very short period. Works while it puts in your hand. And this parry skill. You can also determine whether or not a shield has this parry skill by that little buckle icon in the bottom left corner of your shield's image. Now, what's over there, we'll deal with that later. The giant crystal lizard that wants to tear you to shreds. We'll deal with that later. But for this episode, we're basically just going to go through, defeat the boss in the area. Now this is a massive frame rate spike, but as long as it doesn't do that over and over, we're good. Anyways, for this episode, we're gonna beat the tutorial boss, and explore a little bit of Firelink Shrine. Thank you, developer notes, for telling us this. But I was using it can pretty much clue you in. Now, I keep forgetting my staffs in my random. Heavy Soul Arrow is regular Soul Arrow on crack, but it's slower. Watch. Okay, let's see. That did hurt 40 with one shot of Heavy Soul. Regular Soul does 93. So that's 15 more points. I almost want to say 1.5 times stronger. Heavy Soul Arrow is 1.5 times stronger than regular, but regular Soul Arrow can do more damage per second because of its faster casting speed. In fact, if you look at the spell description, offers greater power but slower casting time, much trickier to handle, and you look at the FP cost, say focus points, or I like to say mana cost, magic cost, whatever word you use for magic reservoir inside of yourself. So this does 1.5 times more damage, but only costs 4 more focus points. This, 2 of these will cost 3 more focus points than this, but it's faster. It's used for those enemies that you know you won't be able to hit with your Heavy Soul Arrow. So I keep doing that. Anyways, use Heavy Soul Arrow if you know you're gonna hit the enemy and kill him, or you can use it in boss fights. But you have to, again, man, I'm out of it today. Not a lot. Okay, it's the rambling, but let's see what this does. Oh shit. No. Ah, 16 more points. That's something. Okay, we're gonna jump over here. Plunge attack. Ah, For some reason, we managed to drag our dagger down these rocks, even though we were falling this way. Yep, best not to think about it. I'll probably end up not really worth it. That's this one. Let's buff our staff and do heavy soil. Not 225. Okay, yeah, it's not really good with obstacles. Your spellcasting. So let's just punch attack, take a little bit of fall damage, and grab firebombs. Very useful for some people against the next boss. I personally wish firebombs functioned in this game like Molotov cocktails do in Bloodborne. When I say Molotov cocktails scaled with what? With the arcade stat Bloodborne, which is basically the int/faith stat for that game. If only we could have firebomb scale with int and/or faith. Instead, they're mostly for strike builds. For strike builds to have some form of elemental damage dealing without infusions. No, if you're more physical minded build like strength, dex infusion, quality infusions, you're not going to use this. You're not going to do elemental infusion. Okay, resin usage. Basically, firebombs are for builds that don't use resins but want to do some elemental damage. Now, see that giant tombstone over there? That, according to PvP skills, from watching his video, that is supposedly the tomb of York the Giant, considering how big it is. I personally think it could also be Aldrich's tomb, because Aldrich is pretty massive. I mean, yes, Aldrich is a pile of sludge, but I don't think Aldrich shoved itself into a large coffin. A small coffin. Oh, over there you can see a hull standing on a cliff. Maybe it's pondering its mistakes. Maybe it's pondering its life choices. Or remembering what it used to be able to ponder its life choices. Now, we're going to start our fight, and hopefully not die. Next, Gundyr. All my soul arrows to take down all those random grunts. But we survived. Almost did, but we managed to kill him. Okay, now we're healed. And we're embered, which basically one of the benefits of being embered is you have 30% more hit points than you would if you weren't embered. Take for example, if you start out with 1,000 hit points, unembered, being embered gives you around 1,300 or so. And that's not counting things like rings, which can boost your hit point count. So we're gonna open this door. So somehow we're strong enough to open a massive door. Man, I find it weird that it takes that little effort, comparatively speaking, to open that massive door. That, or maybe the door isn't as heavy as I think it is. I keep doing this. So let's open fire. And let's smack him with the staff. Yeah, it's not really worth smacking enemy in the face with the staff. Although, if you wanted to go pure sorcerer, that'd be the only melee weapon you'd have. Now that, or... Let's see. The dagger we have, the mail breaker. And there's another weapon, we find it in the High Wall of Lothric, it's the rapier. Basically, the requirements for that weapon are basically what you start out with as a sorcerer. 7 strength, 12 dex, and we're gonna kick this guy off his cliff. Send him back to whatever god there is in this world. Or whichever god it is that hasn't been killed by our predecessors, or flew to coop. Or maybe we sent him to the abyss, or whatever counts for this game world's hell. And charge attack. Basically, this is not a carryover. This is another carryover for Bloodborne charge attack. Except, unlike Bloodborne, charge attack doesn't really do much. It doesn't stagger the enemies, allow you to repost them. Hitting them enough times allows you to repost some enemies. Well, hitting enough enemies, when hitting some enemies in certain body parts enough times will stagger them, allowing you to repost them. Now, over here is a weapon that dex builds will enjoy. With sub-dex builds, it's more of a matter of preference. But first, before we deal with the guy who will give us the weapon, no, the guy we'll take the weapon from, kill these two. Oh, sorry. Feel better now. Grab the east-west shield so that way we won't have to go back and grab it later off screen. Grab the ember. Basically, it's another way you can become embered. And if you look at its shape, it's a humanity sprite. Referencing that somehow you are undead, but you're a special kind of undead considering this humanity sprite's on fire. Although water fire doesn't seem to burn us so much. Maybe we're just used to it. Grab the ember. And send the dog flying off to who knows where. I keep doing that. And eventually we'll put our step in defense. But eventually, let's do it right now. There we go. Now we don't have to two-hand it to use this weapon skill. Instead, we're gonna melt this sorcerer, this katana-wielding guy's face off. Or just action use heavy sword arrow. Shit. There we go. Dead. Then again, sorcerer, it is pretty much easy on someone. So let's check our katana. the deck scaling. Will probably increase to, I think, around a B or so once you upgrade it to max. But it's got 11 strength, 16 deck requirements, which means we have to put a total of 8 levels just to wield it. And not looking to wield this one. What about looking to wield it requires 9 stat levels in strength. If you watch my other walkthrough, I'm assuming I'm calling this a walkthrough now, you'll pretty much remember the Moonlit Greatsword. Now we're back at Firelink. A different Firelink than what we're used to. Not the much more somber feeling, in my opinion, music. Doesn't have that poor crestfallen guy. Doesn't become more lively over time. It does, but it starts out more lively than it was, than the original Firelink was. This drops an item you can use for PvP purposes. We'll get that later. I may actually show everyone how that works. Assuming I remember to stop by over here and check to see if that item's there. Anyways, we got our consumable soul item. We'll explore that tower over there once we get the key to open this door. The key costs 20,000 souls. We'll also send out our crashing down for a shortcut up to the roof of Firelink. Now we're going to try jumping off this tree, which worked the first time. Some people say you have to take off your character's clothes to make your character as light as possible, take off all your clothes, all your equipment, then jump to get better results, but for now we're doing good as is. Explore here, and pretty much if we fall, we're basically boned. If you're wondering, that's why. Be careful.
You. Me, pickled pea. Me, bumperum.
So, that's the names of the birds. I'll be honest, I think the naming for the birds has gone downhill in quality. I could be wrong. Not to mention these birds are invisible again. Couldn't you just try to animate 2 birds? They don't have to be artifacts, like just 2 birds that sit here and talk to us or yammer on about stuff. Okay, we're gonna have to unequip this from our quick item slot, and we're gonna leave a firebomb. Now, what do we get from the firebomb? In this case, we get 1 large Titanite shard. Now, since training in this game is different than Dark Souls 2, it's akin to Dark Souls 1. Actually, I can't say that. I'm not going to say anything about that because I didn't really do any amount of training in Dark Souls 1 to actually have any idea what it's like. Basically, in this game, you drop an item to the bird's nest, they give you an item back. But what you get for what you put in is always going to be the same. Basically, if item X, you always get item Y. You don't get a choice between items A through anything other than, well, items A through Z except for X. It's not a lottery like it was in Dark Souls 2 where you could put multiple of particular items in and have a chance of getting certain items based on what you put in. Basically, it's 1v1 trading, not 1/ here, we'll give you something out of this grab box, gift box. Now, I believe you can trade Estus shards to crows, but I'd say wait to do that to New Game Plus, because you can only have a maximum of 15 Estus flasks on hand. Basically, combined total of Estus and Ashen. The combined total of these equals 15. I wish they could have made it 20 with made a bit more sense, but I prefer to fight things as evenly as possible. Anyways, we're gonna drop. Shut up! This time we're gonna drop the homeward bone.
Picklebee.
And whenever you drop an item that causes the bird to say pickle pea for the first time in the game, well, for the first time in the character, for a particular character file, you get the call gesture. Plus, in the case of us dropping the homeward bones, we get iron bracelets as our reward. First invisible wall we'll deal with. Because in this game, you basically... It's like Dark Souls 1. You attack the walls, they just fade out of existence. Eventually, I'll have to play Dark Souls 2 again, because I think it worked a bit differently. Anyways, our first chest item we get is kind of Silver Serpent Ring. With this equipped, we'll gain 10% extra souls. I believe the max you get for the highest level Silver Serpent Ring is like 25. I don't know. I think there was a Silver Serpent Ring for the new DLC, the Ring City. For now, we'll drop down, take some fall damage, read the backs of these thrones. Holy King Lothric, last hope of the sign. The only Lord of Cinder we didn't see in the cutscene. Oh, actually, I was wrong. There's 2 Lords of Cinder we didn't see. One of them is here. So, we only have to fight 4 Lords of Cinder. It kind of ties back into the whole 4 Lord Souls you had to... 4 bosses you had to face to get the Lord Souls. For the Kiln. For the Lord Vessel of Dark Souls 1. Then the 4 Great Souls in Dark Souls 2. Left the Exiled. Over here is Aldrich of the Deep, St. Aldrich. And like adding eccentric priest guy, he has extravagant robes lighting his throne. Or extravagant silks or coverings on his throne. Pretty sure there's a different word for that, but let's talk to Ludwig.
O thou unkindled, and a seeker of lords. I am Ludleth of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder. If substantiation be thy want, set thine eyes upon my charred course. This sad cadaver, no need to be coy. Have a closer look.
I literally just spaced out during that. So let's talk to him again.
Knowest thou of our purpose? 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast-fading flame must be linked to preserve this world. A reenactment of the first linking of the fire. So it is, I became a Lord of Cinder. I may be but small, but I will die a Colossus. Now.
Are you Now, I disagree with Ludwig that the flame needs to be linked. Because personally, it's been linked over and over and over again. And, well, shit, it's gonna fizzle out at some point. Maybe we should do an Age of Dark. See how that goes. The naysayers say. What about Uasil and Nuando? Well, in this game, running the Age of Dark Con will be different than that. Hopefully. I will try to make sure it's different. Because frankly, I don't want to set myself on fire. This is not who my character is. I'm not that kind of self-sacrificer. No. Now let's talk to this guy. His name is Hawkwood. He's connected to one of the Lords of Cinder, the Abyss Watchers. In fact, He's a deserter. He was part of them, but he deserted before they linked the fire. Now, speaking of linking the fire, Ludwig said it took 5 lords to link. It's going to take 5 lords to link the fire. Basically, the fire's been linked so many times that now it takes more people to get the same results. I use "same" in air quotes because even then, it's the results you're getting in terms of linking the fire is not going to be as strong as it once was, even with all the extra fuel you're putting into it, or what would be considered extra fuel, but now counts as what would have counted as normal fuel back then. Anyways, let's say hi to Hawkwood.
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death.
Yeah, those bells are loud.
Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots. Don't you think?
Basically what Hawkwood says is what I've been saying for a while. Since during this video. Unkindled, we're basically the backup plan. We're basically here. We're the last-ditch effort. We're called upon by, I'm guessing, the First Flame or the Soul Cinder to drag the other Lords of Cinder back to relight the fire again. Why? Because the Lords of Cinder aren't going to do it themselves again. They already experienced what it's like to set themselves on fire, and understandably, they don't want to do it again. Now, some of the Lords of Cinder may have done it because they actually believed it was the right thing to do. Others, they were forced to do it. Others, they saw no other option. And again, after lighting themselves on fire the first time and seeing that it basically amounted to nothing, it's like, yeah, we're not doing this again. We're not setting ourselves on fire. Just so that way the flame could flicker a little bit longer. Especially as weak as the flame is. And also, the Kindled are called upon to drag the Lords of Cinder back to their thrones. It's like, I know you don't want to do this, but we have to make you do it. I know it's kind of weird asking the ones who couldn't even lick the flames the first time to drag beings who had the power to lick the flames to make them lick the flames again. I know it's kind of weird asking weak beings to make you do your jobs, but hey, that's how it is. Here's Yorm's throne. And here's the Abyss Watcher's throne. Now let's talk to the Firekeeper.
Welcome to the bonfire, Unkindled One. I'm a firekeeper.
Firekeeper in the intro.
I tend to the flame, and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones, and must be delivered to them. To this end, I am at thy side.
Would you still be at my side if I decide to say screw it and not light the fire? But instead do something completely different, like say, take the fire and make it mine. Just plunge this world into Age of Dark. I'm just asking hypothetically, for a friend. Anyways, we're gonna level up.
Very well. Then touch the darkness within me. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
So, let's see, what should we pump points into? We're gonna level straight to 10 for a particular weapon we're gonna use for much of the game.
Retreating in the darkness beyond the reach of
ASA will be the weapon we use until we get the Moonlit Greatsword. Which, if you remember the last series we did, our last sorcerer walkthrough, you pretty much know which weapon it is. if nothing else, predictable.
Farewell, mate.
Now let's talk to the Shrine Handmaid. She's basically our first merchant in the game.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One.
My pleasure
I
too,
am
lady
but a
from Dark Souls
humble
2.
handmaid of the shrine.
I disagree with humble, but sure.
Armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me, as is thy wont. No?
So here's what we can purchase from her. For now, we're going to purchase the short sword. It's going to be a stand-in until we get the long sword. And that's, I'd say, a decent weapon. It's just long sword, but shorter. And with thrusting R1s. Well, more thrusting R1s. Now we can talk to her again, and the Shrine Handmaid will tell us how we can get more items from her. Or how we can get her to sell more items.
Ashen One, if my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With ash, I'll fashion new wares. Is it not our sorry fate to sup on death? Ashen One.
So, we're done with her for now. Now we're gonna equip our short sword. R1 combos. By combo, it's 2 hits. There's no real difference with third hits. Which is a shame, but... short sword has a lot more thrusting R2s. Our right triggers. R2 sounds a lot better, even though I play with an Xbox One controller. Let's talk to Andre, who's basically here for fan service and nothing else. And now I think about it, he's probably the oldest character in the series up to this point, because he survived just about everything else. When all the lords are basically pretty much dead. Hi, Andre.
Well, a newcomer, I see.
Andre,
I
sorry.
am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith, such is my purpose.
So, we can reinforce infuse, but infusion options this early on are rarely lacking. We got refined, which is the quality infusion. More for the quality builds. Raw is for certain builds early on. You know, builds that, but it's caster builds that don't really put too many points, if any, into their strength or dex stats. And fire is basically the same as raw, except you get elemental damage. Now, we're going to reinforce our flask with Andre. Personally, wish we could do it for the Firekeeper, because I feel like there's more significance of the Firekeeper doing it. But, anyways, we can even a lot usages for each Essence Flask. So if you're a really good dodger, or just good at not getting hit in general, and you're a caster build, or you like to use your weapon skill a lot, put all your uses for your Essence Flask in action. Even then, I'd say maybe invest some points into Faith for healing miracles. That way you have some manner of healing. Or if you're more physical build and don't really like using your weapon skills that much, if at all, go more towards regular Estus. But we're gonna do, by the end of this, for each Ashen Essence we have, we're gonna have double the amount of regular Essence. So, Basically, we're gonna have 5 ashen and 10 normal essence flasks by the end of the game. Considering you can only have a total of 15 on your person. Alright, talked about how I wish it was 20, but gotta make do with what we have. Now you can talk to Andre, but he'll tell you about reinforcement, infusion, repair. Basically, it's nothing that'll deepen the lore all that much. Will deepen any understanding you have of the lore all that much.
Pretty like that.
So, we're done with Andre. We talked to the Firekeeper, and now we're going to embed the coiled sword. Ah, there's another player who had the Zothram's crown on, and the Murakumo, I believe. Another character with a rustic weapon. Now let's heal, and next place we will explore is the High Wall of Lothric itself. Now, there's no host of embers here. Maybe that's because we're starting out on... Actually, it's almost 8 o'clock from where I am. 8 p.m. Almost that. So, maybe there's not enough people actually here. I can't tell if that's indicating that there's other host embers around, or if it's just indicating, oh, you're here. So we're done for this episode. Next one, we shall explore the High Wall of Lothric and hopefully not die. I'm not going for a no-death run, it's just, let's see how long I can last without dying to an end. Bye, everyone.